Hey, good morning from the office. Hold on just a second. We apologize for any inconveniences. Rose, our social media director, is pushing out everywhere on Fetcher News, Facebook, all of our friends list, everything we can get out to say that FYN TV is experiencing some technical difficulties, but we are running this morning. We are running on our live YouTube channel. So we're running on our live YouTube channel, and again, FYN TV is experiencing some technical difficulties. You are witnessing me trying to put my earpiece in as the show starts. I can't find my glasses. I have the wrong ones. I was in my office before the show started trying to find the most offensive. I'm trying to find the most offensive racist material. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You can find us at 706-889-9700. I'd like to hear how you feel this morning about Confederate statues of Confederate war heroes, I will call them heroes, being taken down in towns, cities, counties, states across the South. What do you think of that? And where are we? What really happened in Charlotte? Remember when the president would come out and make an immediate response, and we would say, why don't you wait for some facts to come in before you start coming out and condemning, the police, condemning. You remember that? It just seems like it was just about a year ago. It's not long ago. We had a president that immediately would come out and start accusing people of things without the facts. And we would say, why don't you wait a day or two and actually say what happened? So the president of the United States comes out Saturday and condemns all hate groups, condemns all hate in this country. Now, I don't know what you're hearing. The media is, let's go with this. Okay. The media, let's see. The media has spent, I think the nightly news, okay, apologize for that. The media spent 77% of nightly news was spent on the press conference. Yesterday, President Trump's press conference. Networks spend 77% of the evening news on a wild Trump presser. CBS spent 100%, okay? Of their news, 21 minutes and 13 seconds of total news time on Trump's show. That's right, 100% of the CBS Evening News was spent on the press conference. What happened in Charlottesville? So I went in to see what is the most racist, I'm serious, the most racist thing I could find in my office. How many of you are tired out there of social media, and all of these people telling you about their black friend or explaining how they're not racist? I am so tired of that. Quit telling me how non-racist you are on social media. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to hear about, your black friend. I mean, oh my God. So I went in and I found a very racial, I found a book in my office that I'm going to remove today and take out of there called Washington's Farewell. Washington's Farewell, the Founding Fathers' Warning to Future Generations. Had slaves, racist, he's out of here, okay? Now, this one here I found very offensive in my office. Why the right gets it wrong and the left doesn't get it. Why the right gets it wrong and the left doesn't get it. God's politics. A new vision for faith and politics in America. I don't see where that could be of any help to me in my office. Now this one's really racist, because if somebody came in and found out that I was trying to, if you entered in my office and you found out I was trying to simulate, is that the word? That's probably not the word. Or I was trying to give the impression that I had black friends, or I was, I was further along than you expected, I would probably have a book by Tony Dungy called The Quiet Storm. I would probably read a Tony Dungy book. I would probably have that in my bookshelf just to throw you off. So I could see where there's no need for that anymore. And I came across this here while I was looking, and I found the Federalist Papers. These are the Federalist Papers. This has no place in modern history whatsoever. No place whatsoever. So get rid of that. That's got to go. I can't have these things surrounding my office. Now, I thought I might throw a little holy water. I thought I might throw a little holy water on the situation. You know, like you know when you throw holy water on it, and it, right? Like, whoa. So I thought I really would throw some holy water on the show, and I would bring out my Tim Tebow Sports Illustrated. Now, if that's not enough to smoke them this morning, to let you know that I actually had this in my office. So this has got to go. I mean, what if you were to walk in my office and see my Tim Tebow amazing, incredible, phenomenal, incomprehensible, mind-blowing, unbelievable Tebow? What if you were to see that in my office? I can't let it happen. Folks, I can't let it happen. I am going to erase everything that possibly could offend the left. Oh, that's not possible. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. Now, the most racist, offensive, the biggest racist I could find in my office, the most offensive thing I could find in my office this morning, that says, I guess if you were to enter my office and you were wondering if I too am a racist, then if you see this would validate that BKP could possibly be racist, and it's my Barack Obama coffee cup. Well, if you were to come in my office and see this racist right here, him and his wife Michelle, Reverend Wright, they don't like white people. They didn't like white people. Now that, most racist, offensive thing I can find in my office. Folks, we're talking the only show. I've got a lot going on here. I don't know what happened in Charlotte. I do not know. Charlottesville. I keep saying Charlotte, my apology. I understand there was a protest, but I'm not for sure what has happened there, because all of the protests we have had in this country in the last 5 to 6 years, the media has seemed to come out quickly, Trayvon Martin's side. They seemed to react quickly to Brown out there in Ferguson, right? They seem to oppose the police ASAP. But in this particular case, and every single person that showed up that day to protest the removing of, I think, the name or the statue, I think it's the name or whatever, of that park at Charlottesville, Virginia, every single one was evil, according to them, if you just showed up. So we are the only ones, until they're gone from the internet. We have saved these pictures. I really am not joking, okay? We have saved these pictures. We are the only one that dares to show you Robert E. Lee. Okay? Pull up Robert E. Lee. First one. That is General Robert E. Lee. We thought we'd put one up there with the Civil War flag behind it, okay? Robert E. Lee right there. We're the only show that will dare to do that this morning, okay? The second one, go to Robert E. Lee number 2. I think I have 2. All right? There you go, Robert E. Lee, number 2. Now, this is a quote that I have always used myself. I mean, I've always enjoyed this quote. I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself. I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself. Robert E. Lee. And I think those of you that out there that know me, we go out, we have a good time, but I will always tell you that I know it's strange, but I want to always make sure I have self-control, always. And I know it's somewhat weird. My friends will tell you, both of my friends will tell you, the 2 I have, how I am where that's concerned. I never put myself in a position that I don't have focus or control a situation. I'm serious, no matter how that sounds, okay? For those of you that don't mean, I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself. Robert Edward Lee was an American general known for commanding the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia in the American Civil War from 1862 until he surrendered in 1865. Now, folks, this was a civil war. Neo-Nazi, we continue to hear how in Austria, I think it is in Austria, and especially Germany, Nazi symbols are against the law. There are places in the world, Nazi symbols, okay? The South was not interested in world domination, folks. The South was not interested in world domination. Now, we declared our independence from the motherland, over there in England, and we fought a Revolutionary War to declare our independence. That was a Revolutionary War. The Civil War, again, was to declare an independence, and I won't get into too deep because people will start arguing with me that I got my facts wrong, not going there this morning. That's not the show. But the Civil War was not a quest for world domination like Nazis. So to erase our history, because if you're sitting in Georgia today, okay, if you're sitting in North Carolina, and you come up and say, I'm from here, all right? If you're from North Carolina, born and raised, mom and daddy born and raised. If you're from Virginia, okay, it's something else. But now, if you're from Virginia, Yankee, and your mama and daddy was raised in Virginia, okay, let me tell you something, all right? You have family that fought in the Civil War, okay? Tennessee, if you was raised in Tennessee, if you was raised in Georgia, all right, South Carolina, all right, seriously, period, go on and on and on, all right? You have history here. They are erasing your history, determined to erase your history. You have fathers, you have great-grandfathers, great-great-grandfathers, and great cousins from generations past that their blood is on the soil, okay? Huh? So you think that you want to forget the history of burning down Atlanta? You want to forget that? You want to erase that? I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Something is really bad wrong here. Now, I go to a parade every year. I'm going to get into a lot of stuff this morning, but I go to a parade every single year where the Sons of the Confederate, all right, they're in there. And they wear their Confederate soldier uniforms, okay? And in the parade, and then they fire in the air, and they have their... I'm wondering how long before parades say that the Confederate sons, the Sons of the Confederacy, cannot enter in parades anymore. I'm serious. What's next? In Richmond, the capital, Richmond, Virginia, the capital of the Confederacy, has a Monument Row. What they want to do is they don't want to take all the monuments out because, I mean, look, but they're willing to compromise and go to every monument and basically disparage the person there. They will write something that's very disparaging about the person in the monument, at the monument, okay? They will go disparaging everyone is what their thought is in Virginia. Now, we're also the only place this morning that will actually dare to put up Stonewall Jackson. Stonewall Jackson. All right? Go ahead and put his picture up there. There's Stonewall Jackson right there. Okay? And put the second one up. I have two of them there. We're the only ones that dare to put two. Okay, Stonewall Jackson. Thomas Jonathan Stonewall Jackson was a Confederate general during the American Civil War, and best known Confederate commander after Robert E. Lee. All right? Now, this is a quote. Listen to this quote, folks. A patriot volunteer fighting for country and his rights makes the most reliable soldier on earth. Stonewall Jackson. One more time. A patriot volunteer fighting for country and his rights makes the most reliable soldier on earth. Stonewall Jackson. Stonewall Jackson plaque removed in St. Pete. What are we doing? What happened in Charlottesville? What happened in Charlottesville? What are we doing? Really? Now, we have a lot to go over this morning. Yesterday, the President of the United States held a press conference. We're going to play you the 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. And what I want you to do in the next 5 minutes is I would like for you to send me a message if you find anything in his press conference that is not truthful. And then we'll come back and then we'll take a break and then we'll discuss that. Find something in his press conference that's not truthful. Find where he's not just, this is not the reason he got elected. This is the reason he got elected. I want to say this before I go to break, but I want you to listen to the press conference, okay, for 5 minutes and what the media tried to do to your President of the United States yesterday. Sam, do you have that one? One of them is 5 minutes.
One 5 minutes and like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Brought in, it will be soon, millions of jobs. You see where companies are moving back into our country. I think that's going to have a tremendous positive impact on race relations. We have companies coming back into our country. We have 2 car companies that just announced. We have Foxconn in Wisconsin just announced. We have many companies, I say, pouring back into the country. I think that's going to have a huge positive impact on race relations. You know why? It's jobs. What people want now, they want jobs. They want great jobs with good pay. And when they have that, you watch how race relations will be. And I'll tell you, we're spending a lot of money on the inner cities. We're fixing the inner cities. We're doing far more than anybody's done with respect to the inner cities. It's a priority for me, and it's very important.
Mr. President, are you putting what you're calling the left and white supremacists on the same moral plane?
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side. You can call them the left. You've just called them the left. that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
On both sides, sir, you said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
Neo-Nazis started this. They showed up in Charlottesville to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as neo, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Robert E. Lee are not the same.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him?
I do love
Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats. You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Treated unfairly, sir. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand what you were saying. You were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No.
I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No. There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, there were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm sure in that group there were some bad ones. The following day it looked like they had some rough, bad people, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whatever you want to call them. But you had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest, and very legally protest, because, you know, I don't know if you know, they had a permit. The other group didn't have a permit. So I only tell you this, there are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country, a horrible moment. But there are two sides to the country. Does anybody have a final? Does anybody have? You have an infrastructure.
What makes you think you can get an infrastructure bill? You didn't get health care.
Well, you know, I'll tell you. We came very close with health care. Unfortunately, John McCain decided to vote against it at the last minute. You'll have to ask John McCain why he did that. But we came very close to health care. We will end up getting health care. But we'll get the infrastructure, and actually infrastructure is something that I think will have bipartisan support on. I actually think Democrats will go along with the infrastructure.
President, have you spoken to the family? Have you spoken to the family of the victim of the car attack?
No, I'll be reaching out.
When will you be reaching out?
It's I thought that the statement put out, the mother's statement, I thought was a beautiful statement. I always tell you, it was something that I really appreciated. I thought it was terrific, and really under the kind of stress that she's under and the heartache that she's under, I thought putting out that statement to me was really something I won't forget. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you plan to go?
You know, for 45 minutes I had Morning Joe in the background, and you know, I had to listen to MSNBC this morning for 45 minutes about one of the darkest days in our history yesterday. One of the darkest moments in the history of this country, when the president did what he did. I'm asking you, please tell me anywhere in there if you feel there's anything wrong, not maybe what you feel is wrong. Did Donald Trump tell the truth? Did the President of the United States tell the truth yesterday at that press conference? Did he just let it go out, let it fly, and tell the truth? Because for 45 minutes in the darkest day of history yesterday, according to Joe Scarborough and Barnacle and several others they brought in to mourn the death of our country. They forgot to tell you that Antifa, I think that's how it's called, Antifa, okay? The Durham Antifa leader is charged with a felony. But the new North Carolina governor makes a statement, monuments should come down. On Tuesday evening, now we played this video for you yesterday. We were ahead of the curve yesterday morning. Now I'm going to say this really, listen. I'm going to say we were ahead of the curve yesterday morning. We took this on yesterday morning. We told you here what would happen throughout the media, what they would do, what direction they would go. We played for you at 8 o'clock in the morning videos of them attempting to take down this statue in Durham. We told you what would happen in the media. This is before the press conference. We told you this was coming, okay? They were cleansing the history yesterday. Maybe the president watched this show. No jokes. I mean, maybe he did. On Tuesday evening, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper posted a public statement to the website Medium weighing in on the now raging Confederate memorial controversy. What is raging about this? I actually need some explanation because I'm going to tell you I don't know what's raging about this. I will tell you what I think later, but what's raging? These monuments should come down, he said. Cooper, what were they hurting? When you were driving to work this morning, how many of you that live next to, if you happen to be watching or listening and you live next to one of those monuments, how many of you cannot make it through your day at work because your traffic pattern on the way passes a monument? How many of you lived in the city your whole life and really didn't even know what the monument was because you never walked up to it and it's a statue of some old guy in a war? I'm not joking, okay? What were they hurting until the media and the government told you you were being hurt by them? And we needed to erase this for our children. That we've taken over in the public schools, and you're only a generation away from the mind control that they have over your children. I'm sorry, you might not like that direction, but you're only 10 years away from the complete mind control that they have over your kids and what they are calling education today. And no disrespect to my good friends in education, and I think highly of you, and I know you're great educators. But to me, you're stuck in a system that has a direction to completely cleanse the memory, the thought, anything that our children can see about our history of who we are. Okay? So I don't know why I said that. I just can't take this garbage no more. These monuments should come down. All right, now this monument, the 15-foot tall monument, was erected in 1924. There was a protest yesterday. We don't think they had permits to protest. They pulled down nearly a century-old Confederate memorial in front of a historic Durham County courthouse. Hundreds of Antifa protesters, which had converged at a location for what organizers called an emergency protest. Okay? Hate is okay if it's on the left. I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about who is this Antifa. Are you okay with the president's comments? And are you tired of elitists like Charles Krauthammer telling us his psychological psychobabble that he does on Fox News? Charles Krauthammer telling me his psychobabble of how it is a dark day in the moment of the history. We're going to play his dark day, and everybody's afraid to challenge Charles, okay? because he is a psychiatrist and he is a great, brilliant thinker. And he's quite the elitist, and he's in a wheelchair. So you can't do that, right? God forbid. He could spew all the elitist crap he wants to. We can't take him on. But guess who did? My hero of the week, Laura Ingraham, because she had the nerve to sit a foot away from him and put him in his place. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be right back after these messages. We apologize. We apologize for the technical difficulties on fyntv.com, but we are on our YouTube channel this morning, moving right along, so you can tell all your friends, FYNTV, YouTube, we are live there. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Dave's Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Dave Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Dave Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Dave Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
Had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my
Good morning, sunshine. That would be me. BKP, good morning from the office. Broadcasting from the south. Oh, hell. Whoa. How come I haven't played any Yosemite Sam videos? Tomorrow we got to play you. When I'm on break, the next break, look up the Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny Mason-Dixon line. Look that one up on YouTube. Get that ready for the next break. We have to, folks. We have to. You remember when Yosemite Sam dared that rabbit to cross the Mason-Dixon line? Well, you can't play that anymore. God forbid you children watch that. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get it all set up. You can get the kiddies and get them in front of the TV. We'll do it for them if nobody else will. All right, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We apologize for the inconvenience on fyntv.com. It's down for maintenance, but we are coming to you strong this morning on our YouTube channel. That's FYNTV. Fetch Your News, our YouTube channel live. So coming to you strong. We hope you're watching and tuned in. Just want to let you know a couple notes just of public local interest. The Blue Ridge City Council special called meeting. I want you to know out there, if you know somebody that wants to go, please pay attention to this very closely because there's a misunderstanding. It's a public meeting, okay? Now, when you have a public meeting, it is open. The door can't even be closed. It's not supposed to be closed. It is open, okay, to the public. Now, they hold, and they have not said this, Angie Arp, which has, we'll talk about it in a minute. I'm going to do a Blue Ridge segment, but they hold the special call meeting in the conference room, which will only hold 13 people. Folks, they have to move it by law if you cannot get in there. You have a right to go to the meeting. So I have actually been to meetings that had to be moved 3 times because they're open to the public. I mean, we had a meeting one time that had to be moved to a school auditorium, okay? On account, they had to close the meeting and they had to reconvene it in an hour in a school auditorium because we went from a conference room to a jury room in a courthouse. It wasn't big enough. We had to go to a school. So you are welcome. You need to tell people, don't let misinformation that they're holding the Blue Ridge City Council meeting tomorrow morning at 10:30 in the conference room and it's not big enough because I have an email this morning, and I'm not going to mention the name, and it's a request to Kelsey. Kelsey is the city clerk there. Kelsey, may I request that the special called meeting called by the council members Arp and Kendall to be held in the large room of City Hall rather than the conference room so that those who would like to attend the public meeting will have the opportunity to do so. It seems that the conference room would be too small to hold the meeting. Thank you. And we'll leave it there. Don't worry. Come. Invite 1,000. Period. It's an open meeting. They have to accommodate you. Don't worry. They can't tell you we're holding it in the conference room and 13, and then after that you can't come to the meeting. So that's what I wanted to say. I ran by Dairy Queen. I ran by Dairy Queen this morning, and I picked up a cup of coffee. I don't normally go and I don't really drink a whole lot of morning coffee, but I ran by Dairy Queen because I've seen a certain name in an email chain. We're going to talk about that. Oh my God, the emails are flying. And it looks like the emperor has no clothes. And I will explain why the emperor has no clothes later. Whew. All right, now, back to our story that we were working on. Let's go with the elitist. Let's do that first. Now, this is a minute and a half, okay, of the elitist. This is the attitude. Now, there is a, you remember, don't forget, okay, Rupert Murdoch and his sons, especially one of them, are definitely to the left in Fox. They're definitely to the left, the controllers of Fox right now, and they want the strongest right-leaning anchors that they have gone. They do. They were complicit in moving O'Reilly right out there. Have you watched at 5 o'clock? I mean, who's the kid they got off his bicycle? I mean, he's a nice guy, but the kid was riding his bicycle and he grabbed this kid off a bicycle, and now he's doing the specialist on 5 o'clock, all right? And you wonder why the ratings are down, and Rachel Maddow's doing so well. And, you go all the way through and you see the takedown of each one through Fox, okay? Which spiraled into they don't have, Greta anymore, and spiraled into they don't have Megyn Kelly, which neither here nor there whether you like her. But the Fox, remember Rupert Murdoch told Fox, told Donald Trump that Bannon needed to go. See, this right now is a Steve Bannon needs to go. This is the end all. I mean, the pressure has to be on. Now, yesterday, and I did not play that, the president said Steve Bannon's a nice guy. He's a friend. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's a friend. You guys don't know him, all right? He's not racist. He's denounced racism. He's a friend of mine. President said that. So, I mean, God forbid that you stand up for your friend, right? Say he's a friend. This is all set up to get rid of Steve Bannon, to move Bannon out of the way, to put the elitist in the White House, the establishment in the White House, and the, corporatocracy, right? Is that what it is? Let's see what it is. It's corporatocracy, right? That's my word of the day. Is a recent term used to refer to economic and political system controlled by corporations or corporate interests. So you're watching corporatocracy in motion, folks. You're watching the unions and Intel. They think they run our country. You're seeing it in black and white in your face. You're seeing Merck, all right? You're seeing Merck Pharmaceuticals. You're seeing Intel. You're seeing you're seeing Intel. You're seeing Under Armour. You're seeing the corporatocracy that thinks they run this country pull out, and we'll set you straight, Donald Trump, on who runs the place, right? And the media is helping flame that fire. So we're gonna look at. I want you to say Antifa. All right. It actually stands for Antifa is a far left political movement of autonomous anti-fascist groups in the United States. The term is loosely used with anti-racist, anti-sexism, anti-homophobia, as well as anti-capitalism. All right? The word Antifa is a root for anti-fascist action. All right? But it's loosely tied to anti-racism, anti-sexism, anti-homophobia. Nobody wants to talk about this alt-left. But the president brought it up, and you and I know it. Let's play the elitist Charles Krauthammer. This is 1 minute, 50 seconds, and please don't lose your cookies or your breakfast on this one. I am tired of these people too. But there's a point. I want you to listen to what's being spewed by this psychobabble, because he's a psychiatrist and he thinks he's better than all of us, what he says about your president. Go ahead and play that one, Sam. Charles Krauthammer.
To critique what he did today on the grounds that it distracts from the agenda or was a tactical mistake, I believe is a cop-out. What Trump did today was a moral disgrace. What he did is he reverted back to where he was on Saturday and made it very clear that what he read on Sunday, was it Monday, 2 days later? Monday. Was a hostage tape, clearly reading off a prompter, saying these denunciations name of the KKK, etc. That wasn't Trump speaking, that was the aide speaking. The reason it's a moral disgrace is this. This generation, for the last 50, 60 years, all the modern presidents, you can go all the way back, you can say Woodrow Wilson was exempt, but beyond that, understood there was something unique about the history of slavery and racism in this country, that we had to cure this original sin. It was not cured by the Civil War as Lincoln had hoped. because it was followed by 100 years of state-sponsored oppression. It began to be cured with civil rights, equality of rights, and this generation, the last 50 or so years, has done a splendid job in redeeming itself. What Trump is missing here is the uniqueness of white supremacy, KKK, and Nazism. Yes, there were bad guys on both sides. That's not the point. This was instituted, the riot began over a Nazi riot, a Nazi rally. And the only killing here occurred by one of the pro-Nazi, pro-KKK people.
But if you're looking for nuance from this president, he's not going to give you nuance. He's not.
Okay, are you as outraged as I am? Moral disgrace. What Trump did yesterday at Trump Tower is a moral disgrace. Absolutely moral disgrace. What he did yesterday, or Monday, what he did Monday was a hostage tape. Really, you elitist? What he did when he came out and condemned Nazis and white supremacists and neo-Nazi white supremacists, alt-right, whatever he did, was a hostage tape. Did you hear that? We have him hostage? It's the original sin. Slavery, it was the original sin. Yes, there was bad guys on both sides. But this psychobabble, Charles Krauthammer, as smart and intelligent and elitist, and God almighty, he's got, I don't know how many damn degrees hanging on a wall. Nazi riot. Let me tell you something. Antifa, okay, was there. And it's just like the President of the United States. They got in, they wanted to change the name of a park. My understanding, I hope I didn't get this wrong, but you can send me a text message. The city of Charlottesville wanted them to move their rally, okay? A judge, I think I'm right here, send me a judge said, no. A judge said, no. That takes away their freedom of speech. God forbid we put freedom of speech in here, okay? God forbid. Where's that Constitution? Maybe I got to take it off the desk. But anyhow, a judge says, no, that violates their freedom of speech. They want to have, they have a permit, they want to have their rally in the park, and that's their freedom to do that. So they were allowed with the city of Charlottesville, you remember the black vice mayor, Ben, that hates white people, okay, they wanted to move it out, but no, judge said freedom of speech, so they had to rally. Understanding is they got 8 minutes in. Antifa, have you heard on any news network, Antifa, have you heard on a one? If you've heard, if you listen and you hear it, it's fleeting, it's just briefly, okay? That's what you hear, briefly. But Antifa, they came to fight. They came to attack the rally. Now, I'm not getting into a defense, and I am so tired of anything that's said that is accurate and true is considered an offense of neo-Nazis or KKK. Not here, folks. Not here. Okay? Not getting into that. But anything outside of the truth, the media will accept as long as they can pin the hate on the right. And if this hate and this moral outrage and Republican coward senators and everybody can go against Trump so hard that Bannon could be out as early as today or this week, they will have won. I'm telling you, MSNBC, all of these lefties, they all have champagne. They ordered a case of Cristal, right? They bubbly in the club, right? They're ready. They've ordered a case, and they like every week they open a bottle of champagne and they go around and say, "Screwed the guy again this week, didn't we? Screwed the guy again this week. We will get him sooner or later." So this is their magic moment to get Bannon. Not defending Bannon, not defending KKK, not defending anybody. concerned about this kind of elitist. Now, Laura Ingraham, sitting right next to this elitist, says, hey, wait a minute, Charles. And I want to thank whoever did this on their TV and recorded. But this is my hero of the week. Laura Ingraham takes him on. Let's go to that video. And I do have a time where I want to start, and I'll tell you where to end it, okay?
Racism is evil. Those who engage in violence are criminals and thugs. I guess what Charles just said is Donald Trump doesn't mean that. Now, if you're going to say Donald Trump's a racist, or he's stupid, or he's some dumb troglodyte who's just doing a hostage tape, I guess you can tell all our Fox viewers that. And I resent that you just said it was a cop-out, what I said on this set. To critique what he did today is what we were asked to do on the show tonight. I'm not going to pass moral judgment on whether Donald Trump is morally on the same plane as you are, Charles. I'm sure you're a better person than he is. He had a moment today where he could have been calm and could have gone through the facts of what happened again, if necessary, and addressed the issue of the day, which is to get this infrastructure going in this country. Getting caught in the trap of the left, which was what the media wants us to do, is not going to help a single black person get a job, a single Hispanic person have a better life. We have to be honest about the evil of racism and also honest about the evil of a far left that is trying to tear down both history and intimidate free speech in the country. That is not defending neo-Nazis, it's not defending white supremacists, it's stating a fact about Antifa.
I never said he was defending neo-Nazis. The point is, we're not discussing jobs here. We're not discussing an agenda here. We're discussing the unique role of a president.
I guess you could tell our Fox viewers that, Charles, if you would like. Okay, I guess you can. How long today before the left takes on Laura Ingraham for attacking a poor little man in a wheelchair? I'm serious as can be, folks. I mean, how long before this mean, angry, right-wing, alt-right woman is taken on by the media for attacking this poor man that's in a wheelchair? Come on, Laura. How can you do that to Charles, the elitist psychobabble? All right? Seriously. We were asked. Laura says, look, she kind of comes clean. You know, I guess you could tell our Fox viewers that he was hostage, Charles. I guess you could say all that if you want. But, you know, we were asked to critique what happened today. Okay? On the show. We were asked to critique what happened today on the show. That's what we are asked to do. Not give your, psychobabble. Evil of the far left. She called it out. Laura Ingraham, thank you very much. My hero of the week. Now, I'm not done. I'm going to do a Blue Ridge report at 9:30. Okay, that's going to be a special clip, another Blue Ridge report at 9:30. I want to go over some things. But when we come back, we are not finished with this at all. We're breaking down what happened yesterday. We're actually telling the truth. Who is this Antifa? All right? And why won't the media call any of them out? The hate on the left. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back right after these messages.
This summer, nothing says love like a box of truffles, especially if that box of truffles is in a blizzard.
This is all my favorite truffles. Fudge, caramel, and peanut butter. It's like a surprise in every bite. Bet you're full of surprises.
Actually, I'm full of chicken strips. Just had my break.
You're cute.
Still got it.
The new Triple Truffle Blizzard Treat with fudge, peanut butter, and caramel truffles.
Welcome to Dairy Queen.
Enjoy a $1 Misty Slush and more.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment, All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Okay, we're back. You have you're sending in. We're checking our Twitter deck. Now, don't forget, before we really get back into this next segment, you can reach us on. You can always find us on fyntv.com. We apologize today that fyntv.com is down for maintenance. fyntv.com is down for maintenance. We apologize for that, but you can always find us on our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetch Your News. If you will subscribe on the YouTube channel, every time we load a video or we go live, you'll get a notification, so you'll never miss an episode or any of our videos here at FYNTV. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Fetch Your News, at FYNTV. You can email us at chief@fetchyournews.com, and you can always call or text the show 706-889-9700. Also, like our Facebook page. Now, Laura Ingram, let Krauthammer have it. That's my hero of the week, and that's our hero of the week. Trump defiant on Charlottesville. He's defiant on Charlottesville. Unrest blame on both sides. U.S. President Donald Trump sparked another political firestorm Tuesday when he doubled down on his initial response to the violent white supremacist rally in Charlottesville that ended in bloodshed, saying there was blame on both sides. Do you think there was blame on both sides? The Republican president, who 1 day ago solemnly denounced racism and singled out the KKK neo-Nazi as criminals and thugs, also hit out at what he calls the alt-left over the weekend melee. What do you think about the alt-left? Are you okay? Are you okay that the media is only running one side of this story? Do you feel you are ready to erase your history? Let me know. I'm serious. Abrams, that is a candidate for governor in Georgia, Abrams calls for a removal of Confederate faces off Stone Mountain. Maybe we should find out. Governor's race is on and it's moving along in Georgia. Let me just say this. I have there's not a lot of gray area here, okay? If you are in New Jersey this morning, this does not bother you or upset you as much when you hear they're going to remove Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, they're going to erase the slate in Richmond. It doesn't bother you quite the way it does in North Carolina. Let me see. I wonder how this is playing in Yadkinville. Yadkinville, North Carolina. I wonder how this is playing today. I wonder how this is playing in North Wilkesboro. Okay? Wonder how this is playing in North Wilkesboro. Wonder how. I wonder how this is playing in Hickory, North Carolina. I really do. Wonder how it's playing. Out there in Statesville. Wonder how it's playing in Statesville. I'm just curious how it's playing in some of those areas. Okay? Wonder how it's playing in Rock Hill, South Carolina today. That they want to erase the Southern heritage. Wonder how it's playing there. Just thinking of a couple spots. Interesting. Just thinking. Wonder how it's playing in Bristol, Tennessee. Elizabethton, Tennessee. Wonder how it's playing there. Kingsport. Johnson City, Kingsport. Right? I wonder how it's playing this morning to erase the Confederate monuments and the history. Wonder how. I don't know. I wonder how this is playing out in Gadsden, Alabama. Wonder how. List goes on. But see, if you're in some areas of the country, it's not as concerning to you. But if you are in Georgia, you live in Georgia, you're from Georgia, if your grandparents could tell stories about their grandparents that have told stories to them about the Union soldiers marching through Georgia, if you have those stories. Have you been to Gettysburg? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to end all Civil War reenactments? Cancel? That's been canceled this year. Due to Donald Trump, we no longer can do Civil War reenactments. It's your fault you elected him. Abrams, governor, candidate for governor, Democrat candidate. Let's get all that straight. Start over. Abrams, Democrat candidate for governor of Georgia, calls for a removal of Confederate faces off of Stone Mountain. You have the picture of Stone Mountain there, Sam? Well, you looking for a special invitation? Okay. Anyhow, Abrams calls for the removal of the Confederate faces off of Stone Mountain. Democratic, put my picture of Stone Mountain up. Oh, I didn't see it. I don't have my glasses. Oh, God, am I in trouble? Oh, man. Oh, man. Wow. Oh, there it is. Ooh, boy. Folks, just say a prayer for me during the next break. Serious. I'm looking for my... Sorry. Anyhow, Democrat gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams calls for the removal of the giant carving that depicts 3 Confederate war leaders on the face of the state's owned... It's state-owned, okay? It is state-owned. Stone Mountain. So when you think, okay, hey, should I ask a candidate for governor what they think about this? She has put this into play. And it's a state-owned park. Stone Mountain saying it remains a blight on our state. It should be removed. We must never celebrate those who defend slavery and tried to destroy the Union, Abrams said in a series of tweets posted early Tuesday. Okay? A response to a deadly violence sparked by white supremacists. Why was it sparked by white supremacists? Now, they had a permit. They were assembled with a permit in the park that was named on their permit that they were allowed to be at. So you let them have their rally and go home. No, Antifa, sparked by white supremacist groups in Charlottesville, Virginia. All right, removing the faces of Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Stonewall Jackson would take a monster of a sandblast and require a change in state law. All right, let me say something here. If I've yet to offend you, now is the time, okay? So hold on to your hat and glue down your hair. Democrat gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams calls for the removal of a giant carving that depicts 3 Confederate war leaders on the face of the state-owned Stone Mountain, saying this is her quote, and it remains a blight on the state and should be removed. We should never celebrate those who defend slavery. Let me tell you something. You can call it what you wish, but what the Democrat Party and the progressives have done, putting our black men and women, our young black youth, into government housing, into the cities, into somewhere they cannot get out of, okay? You need to retract on the modern day slavery that the Democrat Party has owned the black vote. You may not like that. You may hate me today. You may never turn this show on again. But owning something, I am tired of hearing somebody say, oh, you own somebody. The Democrat Party has owned the black vote in this country by pushing them into pockets to say, we will take care of you, but you live here. You live on the plantation in South Chicago. You live on the plantation in Atlanta. You live on the plantation in Newark, New Jersey. Don't fool me with your condemning slavery, you hypocrites. All right, slavery. What's the second one? And we should never celebrate those who tried to destroy the Union. Folks, the Union's being, you need to get a grip. You need to get a grip out there, and you need to understand the Republic is being destroyed today in a whole different kind of war and a whole different kind of attempt. You understand? They are destroying the Union as we speak. They're well on their way. The media is helping. The corporatocracy, the elitists, they are destroying this Union day by day. You elected a president of the United States that actually looks at the camera and tells you the truth. There was clubs coming from each side. Both sides had very bad people. They're angry. Hate is not okay on the left and wrong on the right. Hate is not okay on the right and wrong on the left. It is wrong, period. You have a president that has said that. He has the nerve to say it. Okay? So, I don't know. Do we ask when will the governor candidates of running for governor of Georgia step up and give us the answer on what they think, what they think? Man, this is quite an email list. I mean, there is a group of citizens that sent Councilwoman Angie Arp an email, and man, it is just flying. This thing is flying. The emperor has no clothes. Whew, interesting. She's been referred to as an emperor. So, Stone Mountain. Stone Mountain, located in DeKalb County, about 10 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta, is the largest exposed mass of granite in the world. Wow. Exposed granite in the world. A town at the base of the mountain bears the same name. That is Stone Mountain in Georgia. Stonewall Jackson. Remember the quote. Do we have that? Do you have that tweet ready? Give me a thumbs up or something. Okay, thanks a lot. This is the quote. Now, this is probably the show's. It's my favorite liberal. It's my favorite. Okay, because the next time I think you attend this individual here. I think you attend the Fannin County Democrat Party meetings. I think you do in Fannin County. I think you attend. The next time I come up, I was there last time. Just introduce yourself. I mean, look me right now and tell me. I mean, you want to come on the show? I don't care. But I read a quote from Stonewall Jackson, which seemed to upset this individual earlier today. Can we put the picture of Stonewall Jackson back up? Because I want to irritate this person one more time as I read the quote. All right, there's Stonewall Jackson. We dare to do that. While they're on the internet, you better take advantage, download some good pictures of Robert E. Lee. The quote is, "The patriot volunteer fighting for country and his rights makes the most reliable soldier on earth." And I enjoy that quote. So the tweet that we received from Susan DeMora, that's the tweet, Susan DeMora. Is that it up there, Sam? Because I can't see across from. Thank you. Sam's got the thumbs up going. I'm afraid to take another break, folks. You're just going to have to bear with me. I'm in trouble over that Stone Mountain picture. But Susan DeMora at Fetcher News, in your use of Stonewall Jackson's quote, what rights, when I use the word rights, what rights do you think he was referring to other than the right to own other people? The right to own other people. That's the rights he was referring to own other people. Interesting. It's okay to own, Susan, the black vote. It's okay to manipulate the people in this country, the young black youth in this country, and have them deteriorated through drugs in these inner cities, in these government houses. It's okay to box them in as long as we own that vote. What is ownership? What is the rights there, Susan? So, Susan, I take it Susan doesn't care for me. But you know what? I'm an acquired taste, right? Oh, all right. Let's get back to the show. Get that. All right. So I was hoping that throughout the show somebody would really take offense to this, to Stonewall Jackson. We talked about, all right, Antifa, all right. On Tuesday evening, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, we told you earlier, said that the monuments throughout the state had to come down, all right. On Monday, Americans beheld the spectacle of an angry mob. See, this is an angry mob. You didn't hear the media. The media is not taking this to task this morning. They're not calling it an angry mob, pulling down the nearly century-old Confederate memorial in front of a historic Durham County Courthouse, and it was an emergency protest, Antifa said. Emergency protest. The head is facing a felony charge. Not talking about that. Oh, obviously there was a riot. They incited a riot. Okay, you can incite a riot, but Donald Trump said it was on both sides. So here's the end all, so I can get to two more stories today. I want to do a little Blue Ridge segment. Please stick with me at 9:30. I will do a short Blue Ridge segment on some things going on there. But there's two things here. Who, the elitist, want you to lose the country and turn it back over to corporations, corporatocracy. It's our word of the day, corporatocracy. And they want us to turn it back over. So they've come out this morning, and when it comes to President Donald Trump, George Wallace has made it into the White House. This is what it would look like. These are some of the things. This is what it would look like if George Wallace made it to the White House. This is what it would look like if the Dixiecrats, remember them damn Dixiecrats? Do you know them? I don't know if you know them. The Dixiecrats, right? The Dixiecrats. Oh, hell. This is what it would look like if Strom Thurmond, senator from South Carolina, this is what it would look like if Strom Thurmond made it to the White House. This is what it would look like. Who will leave the administration? Now, for an hour this morning, I don't watch Good Morning America. I don't have those monitors on here. I'm not able to read the monitors. Some of the big shows have a lot of monitors, and they have have it up to where the text, and you can read and see what they're talking about during the breaks and so forth. And in fact, maybe we'll start having Rose look for most outrageous clips on some of those shows in the morning. I'll show her how we can look for that. But this morning, they are working hard. MSNBC worked hard for an hour to ask who will leave the administration. Who will leave? Now, show the president there. I think it says press conference. Trump press conference. Okay, show that picture. I don't know what I have it named. Okay, now to your right, I think it is Steve Mnuchin. Okay, Steve Mnuchin, and to the left of you is Cho. What's her first name? Anyhow, she is the Secretary of Transportation. Is it Elaine Cho? I don't know. But she is the Secretary of Transportation and happens to be Mitch McConnell's wife. Okay? And Steve Mnuchin. And they all come down from Trump Tower to do an infrastructure press conference. But the left has to pound home this Charlottesville. Now, there's one person dead. We're sorry. I really am. It's tragedy. It's absolutely a tragedy for Antifa to incite a riot. The alt-left with clubs and shields, both sides. It was terrible. And then when you do something like that, one whack job just loses it, and there you go. Someone's dead. So they are supposedly horrified that the president took on the press while them standing there. Because, you see, here's the thing. Donald Trump doesn't drink. And you got these elitists saying, he doesn't even drink the same kind of wine we do. He doesn't even go to our wine and cheese parties. So how can we trust a guy that doesn't show up at the wine and cheese party to look at art? Hey, I'm sorry. Donald Trump's not showing up tonight for wine and cheese and to look at art. Okay? It's just not. So they're thinking, oh my God, how can I be working for this guy? He doesn't even drink wine. So you have Steve Mnuchin, and then over here look at John Kelly. I found this picture. It's of him in the dark, just looking like this is John Kelly. Did I name it John Kelly? Did I send that to you? Okay. All right. Look, I don't know if you can see it. I had to pull this one up because whoever took this one made sure he was in the dark. And he's standing off to the side. And if you could look at his face, which you may not be able to see it, it's just a look of like, really, Donald? Really, Mr. President? This is what you wanted to do today? So this morning, for a complete hour, MSNBC taking down the president over one of the darkest days in our history. Do you believe these jackasses? Do you believe these damn jackasses actually have the nerve to go on TV with some of the things that's happened in this country and call this one of the darkest days? We have men that rushed the shore, that died rushing the shore. We have people that leaped out of buildings and flung themselves from 100 stories or 70 stories in the air. We have people that flung themselves out. We have unsuspecting people that were at Pearl Harbor and were massacred. We have people that went to work one day And do you remember the day, damn it, I am so mad now. Do you remember the day we were watching TV and we were watching them dig children out of the debris at Oklahoma City? You remember that? That we were watching them dig through the debris. And you remember that nursery, Joe Scarborough, you jackass? You remember that nursery where we were digging through the rubble with dogs to find kids? Do you want me to keep on? And these people, one of our darkest days in their country's history. Really? Really? That was it for you? That was your bad day? You know, I'm not old enough, and I know you, there you go, there's a joke in itself, right? I'm not old enough to remember where I was at the day JFK was assassinated. Now, some of you out there do, okay? And this is not about whether you like JFK or not. But I was not there today I was not in the situation where I remember the day JFK was assassinated. Don't remember. I'm not really of the age to remember the day that, Robert Kennedy was going through the back of that restaurant there in California and he was assassinated. I'm not quite. Some of you remember that day. Let me tell you a little something that hung in our hall. This is confessions, okay? My grandmother, my mom, she received this from my grandmother of a picture on a big, it's like a blanket, like a big blanket that we hung on the wall of JFK and Robert Kennedy. Now, I know that may have just freaked some of you out, but I grew up on a house that I got up every day and I looked at this big thing hanging on the wall that had JFK and the date he was assassinated and John Kennedy and the day he was assassinated. I grew up seeing that every day. Okay, my mother made sure that was hung on the wall. My mother. There you go. Now, I am very saddened by what happened in this country. I'm very saddened with the division in this country. I do not understand why we can't unify and come together and all be Americans and have at least a core of common goals this morning and the great freedoms that we have and enjoy the Constitution that gives us the freedom to do what we want today. I don't know why we can't do that. But to come on TV and tell America this is the darkest day. You remember when President Reagan looked into the camera and told you about the shuttle disaster? You remember that day? But no, you have elitists calling your president's truthful comments yesterday one of the darkest days in American history. Who is leaving the administration? Who will no longer say, I could be affiliated with this man? Who can say that any longer? Donald Trump has ruined the career of most everyone in his inner circle. This is according to the media all day long. Steve Bannon must go. Oh, all right, before I close, I don't have enough time because this is, I may get back to some more of this in a minute, but I do want to make some Blue Ridge comments. I promised yesterday I'm going to make them today. That is a promise. But before I go, put up my picture of Roy and Luther, or Luther and Roy, or Frick and Frack, or whoever they are. Okay, to one side, which would be your right. Am I getting that correct? Can you help me over there? So it would be on their left. No, that's the left. Be on the right. There you go. And you look to me for information? What the hell? That's a scary thought. So to your right up there in the far corner is a former Alabama Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice Roy Moore. And you have Luther. Luther. You have Luther Strange. They're headed to a runoff. They're headed to a runoff, okay? Now, there's going to be a lot of debate in the political think tanks. I mean, all of the big brains are getting in there this morning. There's a room, you know, there's a room full of Karl Rove-size heads. You know, Karl Rove-size heads in a room trying to figure out if Roy Moore being the winner of the vote. Now, Alabama is a 50. This is to replace, remember, this is to replace Attorney General Jeff Sessions, Senator of Alabama. Luther Strange, the one on the right, is he is the one, or the left. Oh, what the hell? The one closest to me. Luther Strange is the one that was appointed by the former disgraced governor of Alabama that was impeached to finish the term of Jeff Sessions. But the new governor of Alabama said, no, we want a special election. I'm not going to let that fly. So Luther is basically the incumbent, backed by Mitch McConnell, backed by millions of dollars from the establishment. I'm going to call it establishment, rhinos. I know a couple of my friends out there just cringe and hate it when I call Republican establishment or rhinos. Can't stand either one of them. So Luther is backed by Mitch McConnell, which I do say he needs to go. And over there, Roy Moore. Also, Luther was endorsed by President Donald Trump, which I told you yesterday, sorry, I disagree with that. I don't know if President Trump made robocalls for Luther trying to help, repair his relationship with Mitch McConnell. Now, I do think Mitch McConnell did go to the president and say, listen, Roy Moore is really to the right. He really is. Roy Moore, and even, you had, what's his name? The other guy, he's no longer there, so I forget his name anyway. But Roy Moore is really to the right. He's the Ten Commandments guy. You remember when the Ten Commandments were getting hauled out of, he refused to remove the Ten Commandments out of the courthouse. He's well known far to the right, okay? I think Mitch McConnell has gone to the president and said, look, you need to endorse Luther. I can take Luther back. I can get your agenda done. Luther will be a quiet person. The media has no interest in Luther. I'm going to tell you, this is the fact. You listen to me. The media has no interest in Luther. How many times have you heard Luther's name in the mainstream media? How many times have you seen the media try to chase Luther down for a comment? Okay, it's not happening, okay? So Mitch McConnell probably says to Donald, look, I can use, he's a vote for me. If you and I work something out and I tell Luther to vote for it, he's going to. So, and he's not going to create waves, and he's not going to go down the line and work up all the senators and make, inflammatory remarks. He's not going to do it. But I'm telling you right now, if Mo Brooks, is that his name? I don't know. Well, whatever. If he or Roy Moore is elected, the media is going to chase them down for a comment every time, or they're going to go run find the camera. They can't stand it. Somebody's going to go run and find the camera like Roy Moore and say, hey, I oppose this. Hey, I oppose that. Hey, the leadership is trying to get us to vote this way, but that's not what the people of Alabama sent me here to do. So that's really what happened. Mr. President, this is just going to inflame things, okay? So the point is Roy Moore versus Luther Strange, what worked? I don't think Donald Trump was a factor, and don't get upset, you Trumpomaniacs out there, okay? Don't get upset. I don't think Trump was a factor as robocall was a factor. I do think McConnell, what this shows with Luther being number 2 in the vote, I do think McConnell is so disliked by the base, I dislike him, that there was no amount of money that was going to push Luther over the top. So Alabama's a 50+1 state, meaning these two have to be in a runoff. We will see how much money pours into Alabama to try to beat Roy Moore. There you go. We'll see that, okay? More is less. All right, let's see. What else do I have? I guess I could do the Blue Ridge when I come back, right? I could do that. There we go. We'll go with that. Let me see. What's this email? Miss Arp. Miss Arp, your arrogance is amazing. Whew. Wow. The emperor has no clothes. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
I've had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
We are going to do a Blue Ridge segment, I promise. I know you keep thinking I'm putting it off. I'm not. But there's something tells me I have not completed my attempt to offend you. So I think I'm going to do this now. So I want you to get all your kids close to the TV. If you can find your children Wherever you're at, get them close to the TV. You don't want to miss this one. It's a classic. Sam, give me some Bugs Bunny.
Well, shut my mouth and call me compound if it ain't the little old South. Eyes come in, but my head is bending low.
Charge! Get back there, you dang Yankee! Great horny toads, I'm up north. Gotta burn my boots, they touched Yankee soil. Lay down your arms and step forward, Yankee!
What's the hassle, Schmassel?
My orders from General Lee is to hold the Macy-Dixie line, and no Yankees are crossing it.
General Lee? Why, the war between the states ended almost 90 years ago.
I'm no clock watcher. And until I hears from General Lee official, I'm a blasting any Yankee that sets foot on southern soil. So scram, Yankee!
I've got to burn my boots, boys. I got to burn my boots. They touched that damn Yankee soil. Ho, 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 ho. Sorry, folks. If you were not offended earlier, I'm for sure I have completed the task for today. Sorry, man. Hush my mouth. Hush my mouth. That's a Bugs Bunny. I hope you had your kids there to see that violence of that shooting and everything, and hear him say he's got to burn his boots that touched that Yankee soil. I think Yosemite Sam's next. I think Donald Trump, that's what he should have said. What's next? What's next? George Washington? Is that next? Thomas Jefferson? Is that next? Yosemite Sam? I'm serious. When are they going to get rid of you? Oh, my God. All right, anyhow. Oh, I have too much fun. Anyhow, we got a special called meeting. Now, let me do this. This is Blue Ridge City Council. Let's go into this before we leave. Oh, by the way, if you have not heard yet, if the fake news has not, CBS took 100% of their airtime, 100% of their airtime last night on the nightly news to do Donald Trump's press conference, putting the neo-Nazis and the KKK on a moral equivalence. One of the darkest days in this nation's history. Anyhow, that being said, just on a side note, a little lower level story, as we leave tonight, we have a choice of two things. We can have a choice of showing you Rocky the Squirrel water skiing, or let you know the nuclear threat has been averted in North Korea. We're going to go with nuclear threat for 300, Alex, and let you know that the Kim Jong-il Yak Whack Job coalition over there, fan base, they said we're going to watch what those damn Yankees do, but right now we have our plan in place, and we'll let you know when we're going to hit Guam, but we're going to think this thing out for a day or two, okay? So right now, they realize that the guy yesterday that gave us the darkest day in the history of this country actually put the fear in the little whack job not to go to Guam and attack our people, okay? Seriously. That's right, to attack our people. That's our territory, Guam. We have military there, strategic military base. Anyhow, he has decided not to do that. Also, Iran said, hey, keep up with the sanctions. We're going to ratchet up the nuclear. Too bad we don't have Obama in there to drop another pallet of $500 billion down there and thank them for ratcheting up their nuclear program in Iran. How'd that work out for you? So, all right, now, special called meeting. And right now there's an email going around, and a lot of people are upset with Councilwoman Arp. A lot of people are upset with Councilwoman Angie Arp, and this is from, I think what I'll do is I'll stay away from the actual name of the individual. I think I'll stay away from the name of the individual. But this one person wrote, there's two Councilwoman Angie Arp, all of the council members, and probably 70 people on an email chain. And people are responding, and Councilwoman Angie Arp, and this one person said, unfortunately, some of the 140 people that attended the regularly scheduled, remember, the city of Blue Ridge has a regularly scheduled meeting every month, same time, same place, same bat channel. Bat channel. Huh, interesting. Unfortunately, some of the 140 people that attended the regularly scheduled meeting will be unable to attend the special called meeting. I am sure the 4 council members that decided not to attend the regular scheduled meeting already know that. I cannot attend, but I would like to hear exactly why you were unable to attend, and also agree with Miss Blank, Miss G, we'll just call her Miss G, that due to your choosing not to attend, you ethically gave up your rights to comment on what was discussed at the meeting. You are elected officials, not emperors. Oh, I wholeheartedly disagree, sir. They are emperors. You need to watch the video. They come across. So this person says, you are not emperors. You were elected to serve the public, including residents and taxpayers in the city, not to push through your personal agendas. Signed, Joe. We'll just call it Joe. Then we have one this morning. Let's see who we have this morning. Mrs. G writes, Mrs. Arp, Angie Arp, a crowd favorite. Your arrogance is amazing. It's amazing. Your arrogance is amazing. You assure us that at least 4, I apologize for that. I always try to turn it off. You assure us that at least 4 members of the council know the Blue Ridge City Charter and the Georgia Open Meetings Act very well. Do you therefore contend that at least 2 members do not know any of this? And you assure us this council abides by the laws you govern by, and yet you don't show up for your job at the scheduled meeting where 140 plus residents of Blue Ridge, Fannin County, have to walk through a metal detector. Yeah, they set up a metal detector. I'm with you, Mrs. G. Set up a metal detector to attend the planned meeting you chose to avoid. Since you've had over a week to rehearse. Rehearsal on the set. Miss Arp, could you go through that line one more time and explain why you didn't show up? Anyhow, back to you, Mrs. G. Since you've had over a week to rehearse, your excuses... Why'd you do this, Mrs. G? And repudiation. I think I got this. This meeting ought to be a real show. A really good show. You may want to move to a bigger place. Thank you, Mrs. G. Well, Now, folks, let me set this up. Last week, Thursday night, is the Blue Ridge City Council meeting, same time, same bat channel, same place every single month. They knew in advance that there would be a crowd concerning the discussion of parking, so they enlisted the chief. They called in the chief. They brought in Johnny. Johnny, could you set up the metal detector? Could you scan them? Could you make sure some of those wild, wacky senior citizens don't come in here with signs? Okay, so Johnny sets up the metal detector. Everybody has to empty the pockets, put them in the cup, put them in the little, dog water dish. All right, got to empty your pockets. Got to come through the metal detector. Put your stuff back in your pockets. Right? Got to go through there. Guess what? They don't show. It's a no-show. No-show ARP. Yeah, they don't show up. Why? Because they could not face the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. Wait a minute. there was a band that used to be the Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge, but they broke up. That band was who? Lead singer Angie Arp, on bass Johnny Searcy, on lead guitar Steven Setzer from the drive-in, and playing the drums Mark Tomlinson. So that band broke up. So the new Concerned Citizens, really concerned about Blue Ridge, stepped up to 140 people and walked in there. They did not show up to face them. Anyhow, So tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., there's two things about a special called meeting I want to enlighten you on, and please stay with me on this. One thing I do not like the citizens' First Amendment rights to be removed. Freedom of speech. I am so disgusted on how all government agencies, for the most part, I'm not taking Board of Education and commissioners to task this morning, but all of them in some way, shape, or fashion have curtailed freedom of speech. Now, there's a couple. There's a couple that I know of, and I probably better not pick out two that I know very well about, because then it would leave out some others that are open and transparent. But I don't like some of the curtailing of freedom of speech in these meetings whatsoever. If it's organized and there's a podium and if a person goes to the podium and gives their full name on the record, their address, even if they live there, okay, I get tired of, well, if you don't live in the city, you can't talk. Your address, your full name, and then state your concern. And obviously, you don't start, dropping F-bombs and, saying things that are pretty ugly, but really say what you want to say. It's freedom of speech. And you just sit there and you take it and go on. Say, thank you for attending the meeting tonight. We appreciate your comments. And leave it alone. You don't have to respond. You don't have to get in a fight. But I don't like that. Here's two things about the special call meeting that are most upsetting with freedom of speech. You cannot have comments. There is no public comment in a special call meeting. No public comment at special called meetings. So, I have all these emails back and forth. It would take me forever maybe to find the special called meeting, because there's 75,000 emails. That's just a little over the top, right? But there's several 100 emails, no exaggeration, concerning the special called meeting. Let me just put this in because I want to show you something. There is special called meeting for the 17th. That's tomorrow. So let me just pull up this agenda right fast. Come on, computer. Okay. See, if you go down through here, you have a call the meeting, prayer and pledge, council meeting rules, approval of the minutes, 2017 general election, poll manager's appointment, Fannin County joint agreements, Carter and Sloop, Life Force contract. See, the Life Force contract, renew the contract for Life Force, that was supposed to be done last week. They're doing the business this week, folks. Tomorrow in a special call meeting, they were supposed to do the other night. Okay, renew the Life Force contract. They didn't show up for that. Electric shuttle bus ordinance, match point estimate, Carter and Sloop, EPD invoice, water treatment plant, council meeting, charter, council meetings, and the charter is on there. Council meetings and charter. I wonder what that discussion will be. Correction to misinformation and issues raised at the August 8th meeting. So they're going to give you corrections. Now, how do you give corrections to a video? I would like to know right now how you correct a video. When you unedit a video, there's no editing, and you just turn it on at the beginning and turn it off and upload it. How do you correct misinformation of black and white, seen it on camera? How do you correct that? And I don't know. The video's out there. You watch it for yourself, okay? Frank Moore email, pack property and lease and parking, city streets, storm drain, city parking, executive session, if needed, adjournment. Guess what's not on there? Special called meetings. Angie Arp did this herself. She got it voted on. She got it voted on by her 3 votes. 3 votes. I always remember in this total election, 3 votes did this. So if you don't like having a voice tomorrow, if you don't like your freedom of speech taken from you tomorrow, 3 votes did that. Angie Arp was the ringleader. I always liked the ringleader. She could have been in the circus, right? Okay, anyhow, she's the ringleader of taking your constitutional right of freedom of speech away. Because guess what? They made it in their meeting rules, council meeting rules and procedures, that in special called meetings, there's no public comment. You can't sign up today. You can't say how you feel. They look at you. The emperor has no damn clothes. They look at you. The dictator looks at you and says, I'm going to correct everything. I'll get you and your little dog too. I'm serious. Really? No comments? Not allowed at a special call meeting. That's how you cut the public completely out. We're going to talk. You sit out there. And if you get out of line, Big Johnny, and tell them what they've won. Hey, you over there in the 3rd row, you old guy with a sign, you speak up one more time, you have won a ride over to the jail. Just saying. PAC property, lease, and parking. Folks, you need to wake up. Okay, I understand you need parking spaces, but the PAC property, great people. I say it over and over. Todd and Lisa PAC, outstanding people, good people. They have a piece of property. But don't you forget, Miss Arp purchased her piece of property while in office. She did not come into office with it. So if she wants to look at you and tell you, if this lady wants to look at you and say, hey, the voters elected me knowing I own this. The voters elected me knowing I had this piece of property. The voters electing me, they knew my business before they put me in office. And if you want to argue with that, I'm sorry. But I own that before people went to the ballot box and pulled the lever for my name. So how am I the bad person? Guess what? That's not what happened. She was in office when she purchased this property. The old cement factory, down by the railroad tracks, off Ada Street, or off the other street that connects to the PAC property. So she's a city council member. She purchases this property 2 years ago, right? Wondering what would ever happen to it. It's sitting there for 2 years. Wonder how long she's been going like this and saying, they'll need that PAC property sooner or later. And I will get 300 spaces. And I will get you and your little dog too. How long has she been doing that? Right? I don't care if you hate me. I can care less. I know you need parking. But my God, what you do, how many of you out there right now would love 300 spaces connected to your property that's paid for by the city, the lease is paid for by the city, the upkeep is paid for by somebody else, trash removal, everything by somebody else. You have no maintenance, no cost, no overhead, nothing. But what you have is a right-of-way now from the highway to your property and 300 parking spaces that are closer than you parking, getting out of the car and going into Walmart. What the hell? That sets me off. Just fires my ears up. All right, Sam, we need to get that clip out and about. Out and about. All right. Well, you get those clips out and about every day, so it's nothing new. Sam's probably sitting over there saying, "Okay, I'm going to do the same thing I do every day." We're going to put up. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We have. I want to make sure. I want to make sure that my attempt to offend you today has been successful. Really. I've played the Bugs Bunny clip and the Yosemite Sam. I played Donald Trump. I've discarded almost everything that possibly could be offensive, from George Washington to, Tony Dungy, to the Federalist Papers, to the satanic water of Tim Tebow. You know, the media hates it because Tebow's playing in the minors for the Mets, and he's hitting home runs, and he's going out and he's shaking hands with children in wheelchairs, and he's praying with them, and he's putting his arms on their shoulders and saying, "How are you?" and giving autographs to those kids. And I mean, he's actually being good to people, and it's like goodwill in baseball, and you just wonder, why don't we all just meet at the baseball field? I think that could unify the country. No, hell, maybe not. Casey Cagle, candidate, lieutenant governor, candidate for, candidate for, Casey Cagle, candidate for. Hey, Rose, thank you for sending me Donald Trump tweets. I did not get into those today. My apology. The president, let me see if there's anything recent with a minute. I apologize. Don't forget, before we go, let me let you know here, you're seeing all kinds of new social media things happening. We are responding to questions where in the past we've not been able to. And so if you're seeing responses, please don't hesitate. You can get in touch with us. Let's tell you how you can follow us. You can follow us at chief@fetchernews.com. You can send us emails to the show. You can text us 706-889-9700. You can follow us at Fetcher News, at FYNTV. You can follow us there. That's our Twitter. You can go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe at the top right corner. You can go to our YouTube channel, and you can our YouTube is FYNTV. Fetch Your News, and you can find our Facebook page. And hey, you know, Donald Trump 3 hours ago, President Donald Trump, congratulations to Roy Moore and Luther Strange for being the final two heading into September runoff in Alabama. Exciting race. Amazon is doing great damage to tax-paying retailers. Towns, cities, and states throughout the U.S. are being hurt, many jobs being lost. For every CEO that drops out of the Manufacturing Council, I have many to take their place. Grandstanders should not have gone on jobs. Okay? Period. Corporatocracy. That's the word of the day. Corporatocracy. Let's just go with this one more time. I got 30 seconds. Show me Robert E. Lee. The only show to dare to do this today. Robert E. Lee, just anyone. There you go. Robert E. Lee. I mean, let's end the show the same way. And Stonewall Jackson. And that would be the end of our show, folks. You have a nice day. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. Same time, same bat channel. Oh, I got my Superman glasses. I better be careful. Tomorrow we'll be back 8 a.m. Good morning from the office. Take us out of here, Sam.